Nichols, and I was writer, director, and producer on Sands of Ikkera.
So my name is Daniel Nichols. I am the cinematographer, producer. I worked on the Marauder armor, Topi, weapons.
So we knew going into this project that we were going to need some actors who could really play off each other well. We ended up having one long day open audition we cast for the two main characters and the villain.
I went in there and I made a monologue up. I actually prepared something saying I am Jaruk, and I just kind of tried to show the character during the interview, and I was surprised and I got it.
Both of the main characters hadn't heard about the open audition ahead of time. They heard about it after it was already over.
I was actually doing another project at the time, and I was over at Joy Thayer's house doing costume fitting, and she brought up Sands of Ikkera, and I was like, huh? First time hearing it, had no clue what it was, and it's interesting because I even knew Trish Harris as my voice teacher, and the auditions were like happening there at the studio, and I still didn't hear about it, but fate had a different plan in mind. And I heard about it through Joy, and she was like, you should Facebook my sister-in-law Rachel. I was like, okay.
I messaged Rachel over Facebook, all really nervous, like I didn't know how prestigious she was or like whatever, and I was like, hey, like I'd love to help out with this film you're working on. I can do like anything, whether it's acting or just behind the scenes.
After we did the open audition, I did some callback auditions with a few people.
I remember actually being on their doorstep and like, oh my gosh, I'm actually auditioning for a film. Should I leave? What am I doing? And I went in and I literally had this tiny little gun. Like one scene, I'm supposed to be like aiming a pistol and shooting. And first of all, I've never had a gun in my life. And it had a sound that would kind of go like pew pew. And so I was like trying to stay in character while doing that, which was really hard.
So I'm nervous. She sends me like a little script, just like a couple like scenes, like nighttime scenes. Daniel's in the back. I haven't met him at all either. I'm all like scared because there's a camera in there, and I'm like, oh, I guess I have to talk. She films the whole thing. I just read through the lines. I have them memorized by reading them a couple times through.
And I was really impressed with both of them in their respective ability to just say a lot with like their eyes or in between lines. I really paid attention to how they were still reacting to what they were imagining the other character was saying while they were doing their audition. So that definitely sold me on both of them. So with this project, we had a new experience. We did a crowdfunding campaign. Once we got funded, we'd obviously done a lot of work and prep before that, but there was only so much you can do before you know if you're going to have the money. So we had a lot of things just kind of waiting on hold. Are we going to get funded? Are we not? And then we got funded. So it was, Daniel's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this camera. I'm going to get these lighting things that I've spent all this time that I couldn't buy anything researching. So we quickly got some of that stuff ordered, and we bought more materials, started really pumping out costumes and props and everything else.
So pretty much all of our free time was devoted to fabrication of costumes, and yeah, then the next day we'd work, and then that night we'd work on costumes till like 12, go to bed, work on costumes, the next morning go to work. That was pretty much for 3 months.
Once we got in past all of the prep and building and all the crazy time of late nights and little sleep, we then went into another stage of late nights, little sleep. We filmed our first week here in Reading.
Because in the mornings we would get up really early, and then we would all get together and get as much coffee in us as we could while we were doing hair and makeup. And Rachel Casakine was amazing, and she was such a joy to work with because here was this pinup girl just always on set, and everyone just loved to look at her. And she was doing my makeup, so I felt like I was so genuinely excited for her to do my makeup every day.
The following week, like we had 1 day break, and that was Sunday, and that day we were all packed up the U-Haul, and all drove caravan style up into Surprise Valley where we were going to film the rest of the movie.
First night we rolled into a surprise valley. We had 2 cars and then we had the U-Haul full of everything. I was in the U-Haul with Daniel and we're just broing out the whole time like riding over there.
So we drove up there, we got into the little town we were staying about 11 at night. It started to rain. We only had 1 motel room kind of for equipment and food and things like that, and then we're gonna have tents. But we get there, it's pitch black, it's misting rain, you can't see anything.
We all like sardined in this one room. There's like 12 of us in this like 2-bed hotel room.
And so we just were, I just told everybody, like, you know, I know there's 10 of us and this room is tiny, but we're all just going to sardine style in here for the night and we'll set up the tents in the morning and get that all sorted out.
So it's just like super crammed, all cuddly together.
You get comfortable real fast with everyone after that.
And that was a good bonding moment. That I think made us all closer and more comfortable together.
It feels like you're a big family after that ordeal.
It's true, it broke the ice. Everyone was really comfortable with each other after that.
Everyone called Topi the diva. That became his name because there would be times where he would, you know, start to get really sassy and not want to move at all. At one point I remember us having to make him like a carpet that you don't see actually in the film, but this is movie magic, people, and we would roll it so then he would roll. Yeah, it was really good.
So I don't know why. There's this phrase that's used in I don't know what culture, but the quote is you don't know me. And that's a thing saying someone assumes something about you and then you're like, no, that's not how I live my life. So you reply, quote, you don't know me, you don't know my life, unquote. So that I said that a lot, just like, I don't know, just to be funny on set. And then it picked up, like Daniel started saying it, everyone just started saying it.
We started just like joking around in between cuts.
Caitlin was really trying to get into character with Rachel and they're like talking about like really for this intense scene. And Daniel and I were like, well, we have some time to spare.
We just finished the scene and we're about to go to eat and Alex is like,
oh, you don't know me? I'm gonna go beat you up because you're talking crap about me.
And then he like runs over and he starts kicking it and then starts punching the wreckage and then starts crying and
But then I turn around and Daniel, who's my husband and also the cinematographer, he's got the camera on Alex, who's one of the main characters, and is punching the ground and yelling and I didn't know what was going on.
That was our like 9th day of filming straight. So we were a bit delirious after that.
The mountain, we just assumed was talking crap about us because it's next to us and it's just a threat. So I got mad at the mountain and I just beat the crap out of it, showed it not to talk crap about us. So that's my emotions behind it.
So yeah, very unique experience. You all start to go just a little batty being trapped out in the desert in a tense and tiny motel room together. I think is really what happened.
I remember always behind the scenes, Alex and I would just flap each other's ears like constantly, like that's just what would happen. Yeah, we're weird.
One of the evening shoots was particularly fun, just with the crew and the actors were all just having just a really good time. We've kind of been shooting for a couple of days or so and felt like everyone was kind of getting in the groove of what we were doing. A little bit of the scene kind of changed from the script just because everyone was kind of having fun and had suggestions like, oh, can we try this? Can we film it? And just see if it works later. And
it was all monologue for Caitlin, Kaja, and I was just going to be asleep the whole time. And so since I can make a decent snore noise, I just did that the whole time and they liked it. So they're like, okay, we'll just like add that into it. So
I forgot who came up with the idea, but they're like, what if there's a, with Alex, when Alex is sleeping, the thing that wakes her up, you know, that she's trying to go to sleep, is you hear a bug and it flies into his throat. And you go, we shot like 5 times because everyone was laughing. But that was a really enjoyable scene to film.
So we gathered around and we just started this like rap / hip hop / Disney song mashup. Best thing ever. And we were like going off of each other, and at the end Alex did this awesome rap just on point, on cue. And it was super fun. I remember that for sure. We also did Disney quizzes a lot. BuzzFeed quizzes. We were like addicted to them. I do remember Alex and I both got Rapunzel, and that was awesome because like it just totally made sense with us, because we both love to do all sorts of things, and we definitely have princess qualities about us.
So that was a lot of fun, just how the movie can kind of grow and transform a little bit when everyone's all collaborating together. So I think overall that was probably my favorite. And
then, of course, my uncle, Jaruk, and it's weird calling him Edward because like I just know him as Uncle Jaruk. He is amazing. He's like the most multifaceted person I have ever met. He, you know, is a beekeeper and a fight instructor and a really just awesome person in general. He taught me a lot of combat moves that you never see in the movie, but I know them, so that's yay for me kind of moment. So at the park we would go to when we would, you know, be fighting and doing combat stuff, he would show me how to do a certain move that we were going to have in the movie. And at first, you know, he's about twice the size of me, height-wise. So he's like, okay, I want you to try to knock me to the ground in this pose that I would do. And the first couple times I was like, no way, man. And then the third time I almost got him down. It was awesome. I was like, you know how to teach someone how to be strong and powerful. That was awesome. So yeah, they both are really great people, and everyone in the cast was just a family from the start, which I think doesn't happen with every film. We had a rare chemistry with everyone on set.
Everybody was very supportive of everyone else. Lots of very talented people. Everyone just got along amazingly, like one big happy family. We were joking and laughing, and everyone's basically taking care of each other. You know, when it was windy and something fell over, everybody jumped to help, and everyone was sharing food. And Rachel and Daniel, wow, you know, actually my back still hurts. The beatings were nonstop. They were just, you know, wrong, do it again. No, I'm kidding. They're an amazing team, husband and wife, director and principal photographer, just an amazing team. They have their own sort of sign language and shorthand where one look can, and everybody's sort of standing around saying, are we done? And she looks at him and he looks back, and they have their little telepathy sort of conversation, and then we move on. And it's an amazing thing to watch them as partners, husband and wife. They have an amazing relationship, and as partners in filmmaking, I think they play off each other's strengths very well. It was just, you know, it was like family. It was amazing. I enjoyed it.